Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all of you. I am delighted to meet you in this course titled Issues in Pakistan Economy. My name is Dr. Muhammad Ali Gardezi and I will be guiding you through this journey over the coming weeks. This is a core subject in your program, and by the end of this semester, you will have a deep understanding how Pakistan's economy functions, what challenges it faces, and how opportunities can create it for business and society as a whole. And this is not just another theoretical course. It is a highly practical, every single business decision you will make in this professional life, whether as an entrepreneur, a manager, or a policymaker, will be influenced by economic environment. If inflation rises, your cost increases. If the government changes its taxation policy, your profit are affected. If the currency depreciates, your become expensive, but your exports might become more competitive. Therefore, understanding the issues of Pakistan economy is like understanding the rules of the game before you play it. Let me emphasize why this course is particularly important for business students like you. Sports, you plan to start a textile export business, you succeed. You must know about the Pakistan's cotton production, energy crisis, and international trade policies. Or imagine you want to open a food business. You will be directly affected by the agriculture output, government subsidies, and policies of Pakistan like monetary policy, fiscal deficit, and trade agreements will determine the environment in which your business operates. So, this subject will equip you not only with the theoretical knowledge but also with the analytical tools. In this course, we will cover Pakistan's agriculture, manufacturing, balance of payment, money and capital markets, the role of banking sector, public and external debt, fiscal and monetary policies, globalization, and finally the social sector challenges like health, education, and inequality. But the end, you will able to critically analyze the Pakistan's economic policies and also understand their direct impact on business and industry. Today, in our first lecture, we will begin with the foundation, the idea of development. When we talk about development, most people immediately think of economic growth. They think that if the GDP is increasing, then the country is developing. But the development is much broader than the growth. Economic growth refers to an increase in production of goods and services. Basically, the size of economic pie, but development is about how that pie is shared and whether the quality of life of the people is improving. Development includes improvements in education, health, life expectancy, gender equality, infrastructure, and even environmental sustainability. For example, if Pakistan's GDP grow by 5%, but poverty and inequality also increases, then we cannot say that Pakistan has a truly developed. Similarly, if the industries grow but pollution makes our cities unviable, that is growth without sustainable development. True development balances economic, social, and environmental progress. Now let us talk about how countries are classified in terms of development. Economists and international institutions like World Bank and United Nations often divided countries into three categories like development, developing, and underdevelopment countries. First of all, we talk about the developed countries. These are the advanced economies like the USA, Germany, Japan, and United Kingdom. They have high per capita income, strong industrial bases, advanced technology, stable institutions, and high standard of living. Their people generally enjoy long life expectancy, universal education, and social security system. Second is developing countries. This category includes Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and many countries in Africa and Latin America. These countries are a transitional stage. They have potential and some level of industrialization, but they also face problems like poverty, unemployment, low productivity, weak infrastructure, and governance challenges. Third one is underdevelopment countries. These are countries with very low income, extreme poverty, political instability, and almost no industrial base. In these countries, people often lack access to the basic necessities such as food, clean water, education, and healthcare. Pakistan, as we know, fall into the developing category. It has great potential due to its young population, fertile land, strategic geographic location, and rich natural resources. But it also faces significant issues such as external debt, low saving, trade deficits, unemployment, and underinvestment in health and education. To understand Pakistan's position more clearly, let us look at some common features of developing economies. Almost almost all of which are present in Pakistan, as well high population growth, dependence on agriculture, low per capita income, dual economy, external dependency, weak infrastructure, unemployment. So first of all, we have to move with high population growth. Developing economies usually have a rapidly growing high population growth. First is high population growth. Developing countries usually have rapidly growing population. In Pakistan, the population is growing at 2% annually, putting pressure on resources, job, and services. Second is dependence on agriculture. A large portion of people depend on the agriculture for their livelihood. In Pakistan, about 40% of the workers is engaged in agriculture, so productivity is low, low per capita income. Third one, average income is much lower compared to developed countries, leading to limited purchasing power and low levels standard of living. Dual economy. The next one is dual economy. These countries often have a modern industrial sectors in cities and a traditional agriculture sectors in rural areas with a big gap between two. Next is external dependency. They rely heavily on foreign aid, foreign loans, and imports of machineries and technology. Next is weak infrastructure and institutions, road, electricity and water supply, education. Low per capita income. Average income is much lower compared to the developed countries, leading to limited purchasing power and low living standards. Next is dual economy. These countries often have a modern industrial sector in cities and a traditional agriculture sector in rural areas, with a big gap between two. Next is external dependence. They rely heavily on foreign aid, foreign loans, and imports of machinery and technology. Next, weak infrastructure and institutions, road, electricity, water supply, education, and healthcare systems are often inadequate. The last one is unemployment and underemployment. A large part of the workers is either employed or working in low paying, unprotected. When we study Pakistan's economy, we will see these features repeatedly and they will help us to analyze where we stand and what policies we need to adopt to move forward. So, before I conclude today's lecture, let me again connect this discussion back to you as future business leader. Why should you, as a BBA student, care about whether the Pakistan is a developing country or what its characteristics are? The answer is simple. The economy is the environment in which your business will breathe. If there is high employment, it affects consumer demand. If there is weak infrastructure, it increases your cost. If there is rapid population growth, it can both challenges and opportunity. A challenge because of pressure on resources, but an opportunity because of large consumer base. For example, think about how fast food chains like McDonald's or KFC look at Pakistan. They see a huge young population that loves fast food. That's an opportunity, but they also face challenges, keep electricity shortage and inflation, which rises their cost as a business student. When you understand these economic realities, you are the better prepared to plan your strategies, manage risk, and find opportunities even in difficult circumstances. To sum up today, we welcomed you to the course and introduced the idea of development. We discussed how development is more than just growth. It is about improving the quality of life. We classified countries as developed, developing, and underdeveloped, developed, and we saw that Pakistan fits into the developing category with its own set of challenges and opportunities. We also discussed the common feature of developing countries, most of which apply to Pakistan. In the end, our next lecture, we will go deeper into the development studies, look at the indicators of measures of development, and further explore Pakistan's position in the global economy. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to our next session. Allah Hafiz.